I am reviewing every major TCG grading company in the UK, and you can follow the series by clicking on this playlist. Check out the first video of the series to get the full info of what to expect. Universal, no, not that Universal company, this Universal company, Universal Grading Company, that is. So UGC is based in London and was actually founded in 2021. This is going to be a bit of a common theme, I would say. Around this time frame, a lot of grading companies started to pop up due to the COVID boom and the whole Pokemon hype that got generated around the market. What stood out to me straight away was how cheap the card submission entry was. It is £6 per card. However, when I submitted my cards in the month of January, they were £5 per card. So I ended up submitting a total of 4 cards for it to be graded. These are the 4 cards I submitted in. Ash's Pikachu from the Black Star promo in the Sun and Moon era. Moltres Crown Zenith Tin Black Star promo. Zapdos EX from the Japanese 151. I actually pulled this fresh from a pack on one of my videos, so I'm hoping to get a good rating on this. And finally, this is my test card. This is my bait that I've chucked in over here to see if UGC spots this. This is the Wizard of the Coast Black Star promo Articuno. And now what is unique about this card is, in fact, it's a misprint card. You see the original Wizard of the Coast originally printed Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, all with the incorrect artist's name who drew the illustration of these cards. The correct artist should be, and I'm going to butcher this name, so forgive me over here, it should be Naoya Kimura. However, they misprinted it and placed in the artist Toshino Aiko's name on it instead. Again, I probably butchered that name, so sorry about this. Now, famously, misprints fetch a higher price on the market. However, in this instance, it's the opposite. There are more misprints copies of these cards laying around than the correct version itself. Big graded companies like PSA and Beckett clearly state on their label if they graded the correct illustration name on there or the error misprint. So I'm actually going to test and see if UGC picks up on these key crucial differences and if they note it down on their label during the printout. I have to say one thing that stood out was the submission process. It was absolutely smooth, no hiccups whatsoever. In fact, I messaged the chat support team around 7 AM just to inquire about the process, and to my surprise, they responded back straight away. So I gotta say, it's absolutely foolproof. Anyone can go ahead and easily submit their cards in. Ultimately, I had to pay £30 in total. That was £5 per card. Plus, they charge a £10 delivery service. So that equals £7.50 per card for me. Not too bad, I would say. I was actually given a form via email to fill out which cards I'm submitting back to them. And once I sent back the email, well, then I ended up just waiting. And I waited. And I waited even longer. So a week later, I got in touch with them about my card submissions, and this is where they informed me that they were still waiting for my cards, to which I responded I filled out this web form already and I never received any updates from them. It was on this instance I was actually told that I had to go and ship the cards out to them and I had to cover the cost for these. So I went up to Royal Mail. I had to pay another £4 in order to get my card sent to Universal Grading. So now the total was £8.50 per card. I was also told that they would not be sending back any of my top loaders, which was a bit strange to me because it's something I got accustomed to with other services, but nonetheless, we persisted. After I submitted my cards, I received an email that stated that they had received it, and at this point it went radio silence, pitch black, completely in the dark. There was no tracking or status page for me to follow. I had to just basically trust their process. I did inquiry about this once again, and they informed me that once my cards would be graded, I would receive an email and basically the cards will be dispatched to me. But other than that, guys, this was it. I just had to play the waiting game. So what actually ended up happening, guys, I actually dispatched my cards on 16th of January. And to be fair, I received it back quite quickly as well. I got it back on 11th of February. So that's under 4 weeks. That is well below the expected due date. So that's fantastic. I'll give them credit on that. In terms of the customer service experience, because I can talk about that now, I would say by far the biggest standout was their chat team and how quick they were on responses, how helpful they were. There was no jargon as well. There was no information I didn't, misunderstood. I pretty much got all my queries answered instantly, and on the few small occasions I didn't get it back straight away, I definitely received the information I needed within the same day. So that is really, really good. Whilst I would give that happily 10 out of 10 alone, I would have to drop 2 points of the overall service score. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. And the reason why I'm knocking off the 2 points is genuinely down to the me having to go ahead and pay for my own postage in regards to that. Look, yes, they do have it on the frequently asked questions page when regards to, you know, you need to go ahead and pay for your own cards to be sent across. But in terms of it, everyone's not going to be going over there doing an FBI mode, Detective Pikachu. When is the last time you spent a serious time actually checking out a company's frequently asked questions page? Not many people do that. They could have actually been a bit more forthcoming on their website to place it during the checkout of the orders, to say in a bit of a banner, and look, you are responsible to send these cards across. Or even still, once you place the order, you could have sent an email across to your to the customer to state, hey, you need to send the cards across. We recommend using Royal Mail, Every, etc. Just be a bit more forthcoming, a bit more transparent with that information. I think if you implemented this, I would happily give them that 10 out of 10. And by far, their customer service experience was their greatest strength. However, sadly, this is where their strength ends. And now we need to talk about the actual slabs. So with the slab itself, the label was actually really spot on. There was no misalignment whatsoever. It was nice and clear, pretty much easy readable to anybody. I've got to say one thing as well, the slabs is quite thin. It's pretty much like PSA styles. Ace grading kind of has like a bit of a thicker slab, but again, there's some aesthetic. Some people like thick, some people like thin, each to their own. Despite it being thin as well, I would say it's quite sturdy. I'm pretty sure it can take a bump or two. There was no cracks on my slab whatsoever, which was brilliant. Plus, an extra bonus was the plastic outer sleeve. It was nicely fixed in place, and on some occasions with different companies, I've received these sleeves where they kind of were peeling off. That is mainly due to wear, tear and heat. Now, I like the crystal style slabs. I say that is where more of my aesthetic appeal goes towards. But the slab did have some white patches on it, and this is where the problem started to begin for me. I mean, these white stains is what I expect to find in a motel bed in Blackpool. What the hell, guys? I mean, come on. Some people like having these as display pieces. These tiny little intricate details matter. On the side note, though, I would like to say that the EX logo that they had over here for my Zapdos, the font style that they choose matching the EX, is pretty cool. And the grading breakdown, yes, I'm a fan of it as well, but that is just label design, and I gotta say that again is each to their own. I can't give them an extra point just because I like the way the label is colored, it's themed, and it's, you know, the font style that they have chosen. This is, everyone has their unique preferences. So with that being said, I'm gonna give the overall slab a 4 out of 10. Right, so this is how it arrived. I just want to show it for the demonstration of this video. It was nicely, neatly packed up, and it comes in this cool black box over there as well. So as you can see, there's bubble wraps, there's a lot of protections in there. So no need to worry about your cards arriving damaged. So I'll give them a good credit on their delivery service. So finally, let's touch upon the confidence breakdown over here. So yes, they do have a QR code in the back of their card, and I ended up giving it a scan on my mobile phone. But this is the problem. It only takes me to their website. There's not a grading segment. In fact, this is where I started to get caught off guard over here. It's when I began to notice there was not a search bar or a database for me to look up at my cards and see what's been recorded on their system. I asked their customer service support regarding this matter, to which they responded with this. Yeah, basically it's word of mouth only. There's no images to back it up. You basically give them their serial number, they confirm the grade and whether it's on their system or not. That's it. Like, that does not provide me with much confidence whatsoever. At the end of the day, now that I don't have images, I can't even accurately say that they actually did do the scanning required in order to review this card. They could have just put a slab on together and said, yep, it's a 9 and a 9.5. There you go. And I have to just accept it as a word of mouth. They also do not have embroidered logos on the bottom corner of their card slabs over here. Now, other companies do this to prevent fraudulent graded cards coming onto the market. However, I would say there is a foil and a QR code that has a reflective image and a logo on the back of their card. So that does help deter the fraudulent activities, but it's not the strongest thing, if I'm honest with you. Finally, with the Articuno, yeah, they did not record the error on the label whatsoever. Again, I pointed this out on the chat to them to see if this was a mistake on their part, by any chance. And well, I got an answer that I would say I expect from a politician. I went back and checked on their form, and whilst there was a notes box, it didn't specifically state for me to record whether I have an error card or not. I could have wrote anything on this note box at the end of the day. I could have told them that this Articuno card has an invisible signature of Pokérev on this card that can only be seen by fourth dimensional beings. What are they going to do? Are they going to actually record on the label and say, yeah, it's a Pokérev signed card with visibility ink? No, it's not. At the end of the day, look, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to forgive you with this. When people submit their cards, they believe that some people within your industry have some sort of knowledge about these cards, especially one such a common thing regarding this Articuno misprint. A lot of other people in the community know, and of course graded companies do record this. Even lesser known graded companies note these errors down. Therefore, I can only give the confidence 1 out of 10.
Boo! You suck!
So UGC, you're getting that Hustlémon overall grading score of 4 out of 10 over here. And look, I'll link you to my YouTube page over here with this QR code. And you're just going to have to take my word for it at the end of the day, because there's no other way for you to authenticate this review. It is what it is. Have I been paid for somebody in your competition to give you 4 out of 10? Ooh, who knows? There's no way for you two guys to find out other than word of mouth, just like what you have done. Look, jokes aside, guys, I've got to say one thing, UGC. The reason why you're getting 4 out of 10 is because your customer service support has carried that forward. Literally, that is your strongest asset. I know some people are going to say you pay for what you get, and it is quite cheaper in comparison to other services. Yeah, if you're comparing it to PSA and Beckett, of course it is. But there are other UK companies that I still have to yet and review, with some of them having similar price points. So I can't validate that answer 100% with certainty, whether it is something that, you know, you pay for what you get. But I will take that on board in the future if I do come back and review it, give it an overall review once I've completed this current series that I've got ongoing. I would like to say, you know, in terms of the services, everyone's going to ask me, would I use it again? And you see, I have a bit of a different mindset to most people. I would say I'm a guy that says never say never, because I want to say I hope so. Look, here's the thing. Like, you may look at this review, take other feedback on board and implement some changes. A good company takes both positive and negative feedback and basically goes ahead and takes it on board. A bad company will just going to be turning a blind eye, and at the end of the day, that's what causes the crashes and for them to basically go into liquidation. I don't want that for UGC. I want them to succeed. They're a UK based business. If they can grow, that means more success to the TCG community in the wider area. And at the end of the day, they could end up helping creating jobs as well. It might be a one-man band or a small business at this point of time, but if they ended up growing, that provides further employment to people within their area and overall other people within the TCG community. So I want the best for them. I really do, and I really do hope so that, you know, they can reach to a better potential. I'm pretty sure if they go ahead and put some of these tiny suggestions forward, it will help towards getting to that area. This is where you guys can come in, and this is where honestly the community can help out with the wider aspect of this. So this is where I'm going to announce my first ever giveaway. It's simple. All you have to do is subscribe, and you need to comment on this channel. Would you use UGC? Yes, no, or maybe, and provide the reasons why. Be honest, be, you know, helpful. UGC may end up reading this and they can take that information on board. I will announce the winner on my next grading video, and I will respond back to your message with Articuno. If you receive that message, you are the winner. Congratulations. You'll win a lightly played Black Star promo Zapdos, a Scarlet and Violet booster pack, and this cute little Rowlet keychain plushie that I have over here. Yeah, I just want to make sure one thing, guys. Please make sure you're in the UK. I can't dispatch internationally, unfortunately, as of this moment. Too small of a YouTuber yet. Maybe in the future I can do that. But right now it's based in UK only. I just want to also make sure that you guys have Instagram or TikTok, so I can reach out to you once I've announced the winner and I've given them, you know, I've sent the comment across. I can then arrange for you guys, you know, to get in touch with me, and I can just get your details so I can ship over the giveaway to yourselves. So that's all me done and dusted over here today, guys. If you do appreciate this content, just do me a small favor and hit that like button. Thank you for anyone who out there that does take their time to do that. Yeah, that's it, guys. Look, I hope you appreciate this review. Give me any feedback if you think there's something else I can implement onto the future. I'm trying to structure this out as best as I can do, but I'm being fair, I'm being critical, and I'm trying to be helpful with my feedback as much as possible. Universal grading, once again, I wish you all the best in the future. I'm just looking forward to reading your guys' comments and seeing, whether you're going to use this company or not. That's the main thing, and like I said, it's always goes appreciated that you take your time out to watch this all the way to the end. Without me rambling on, I just want to say I wish you all the best, have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.